Homes in Kettering, Ohio face a brutal year-round weather cycle. They have to withstand polar winter air whipping across the Great Lakes, violent summer storms, and unpredictable temperature swings that bring hard freezes well into mid-April. That relentless four-season cycle forces exterior materials to constantly expand and contract. Over time, this daily thermal movement physically exhausts asphalt shingles, breaks down chemical sealants, and loosens the steel fasteners holding the structure together. Most homeowners only realize this invisible wear and tear has occurred when they spot a single missing shingle laying in the yard, or worse, notice a fresh brown water stain blooming across the living room ceiling. The immediate human instinct is to grab a ladder, buy a tube of roofing caulk, and patch the shingles directly above that interior stain. But treating a home like a flat, solid object completely ignores the complex physics of how water moves through a house. A roof is actually a thick, multi-layered system of wood, underlayment, and overlapping materials. Because of this, water almost never enters the roof directly above the spot where it eventually drips into your living space. When you patch the surface directly over a ceiling stain, you are treating the exit wound rather than the entry point. It is the architectural equivalent of putting a standard adhesive bandage over an internal injury. That visible brown spot on the drywall is never the beginning of the story. It is the final, disastrous chapter of a long, hidden chain of failures occurring deep inside the walls and attic. This diagram shows the true structure of a residential roof. Beneath exterior shingles lies waterproof underlayment, wooden decking, and heavy timber framing. Compressing these layers reveals vulnerable points: rubber boots wrapped around plumbing pipes, and metal valleys channeling high volumes of rainwater. Kettering's specific wind patterns constantly pull at the edges of the roof. This uplift force eventually breaks the factory adhesive seals on the shingles. Once unsealed, the shingles flutter in the breeze, gradually exposing those vulnerable rubber and metal transition points. Tiny gaps begin to form at these intersections. These micro-breaches are completely invisible from the driveway, allowing moisture to slip past the outer defenses unnoticed. Real structural water damage rarely happens in the broad, flat areas of the roof. It occurs at these complex, high-stress intersections where materials shift against each other. Let's follow a drop of water during a heavy Kettering rainstorm. Its journey often starts when rainwater seeps through the cracked, UV-damaged rubber collar of a plumbing vent pipe. Once inside, gravity pulls the water down the angled underside of the wooden roof decking. It traces a long, silent path along the timber rafters, sometimes traveling several feet from its initial entry point. As it creeps through the dark attic space, this traveling moisture often crosses paths with live electrical lines and junction boxes feeding the ceiling light fixtures below. Eventually, the water drops from the rafters and saturates the thick fiberglass attic insulation. The heavy moisture permanently compresses the material, stripping away its ability to insulate your home against the cold. The water finally hits the drywall ceiling, pooling at the seams and expanding until it bleeds through as a dark brown stain in the hallway, far away from the broken pipe boot on the roof. If you climb a ladder and seal the roof directly above that hallway stain, you trap that entire active moisture path inside the house. The original entry point keeps leaking, accelerating hidden wood rot and mold growth in the attic space. The diagnosis gets even more complicated. Sometimes, a homeowner finds wet attic insulation and a stained ceiling, even though the exterior roof surface is in pristine condition. This diagram illustrates a ventilation failure. Everyday moisture from rising home heat gets trapped inside the attic space. Circulating humid air collides with freezing roofing nails protruding through the deck. Condensation forms on the cold steel, dropping onto insulation below, perfectly mimicking a storm leak. Without an expert tracing the exact origin of the moisture, you could easily spend thousands of dollars replacing a perfectly good roof to fix what is actually an airflow problem. This matrix compares roof age against damage spread. Catching a cracked plumbing boot early keeps you in the bottom left, an isolated, inexpensive repair. Delaying rots structural decking, pushing you to the top right, where premature, full replacement is the only safe option. Ignoring a damp ceiling or relying on superficial hardware store patches takes a routine maintenance task and escalates it into catastrophic structural reconstruction. A truly healthy roof is a comprehensively diagnosed breathing system. Every layer, fastener, and vent must work together to endure Kettering's next extreme temperature swing. Guessing where water is entering or slapping down temporary sealants leaves your home wide open to progressive decay. Stop gambling with the structural integrity of your property. Find out exactly what is happening above your ceiling by scheduling a professional diagnostic inspection with MasterRoof Kettering today.